Hey travelers, Chris and I have rented an apartment for a month in Bangkok so we can spend some time exploring this fantastic city. Bangkok is amazing and there's so many visitors that come here every year to experience it. But it's not all perfect. So what are some of the pros and cons about Bangkok and some things you should know before you come? We'll cover some general tips for all travelers and then we'll get into some specifics for slow travelers and digital nomads. We're going to talk about 10 things that you should know before coming to Bangkok as a tourist, slow traveler, or digital nomad. We'll talk about getting around the city, language barriers, safety, and visiting major tourist attractions, to name a few. Let's get started with what you need to know about the weather here. It is hot in Bangkok. Fortunately, there are air-conditioned malls everywhere. So if you're at an outdoor market and you start to feel a little overheated, just step into the closest mall, cool down a little, and then you can go back outside. If you're planning a trip here, know that Bangkok has a rainy season from mid-April to late October and a dry season from November to March. But no matter when you come, expect it to be hot and humid. But if you do end up outside, what's it like to walk around? One thing to know about Bangkok before you get here is that it's not a very walkable city. There's traffic everywhere with the bikes and the cars and the motorcycles. And then the street lights really aren't designed to help you cross the street. The good news is that in some of the busiest areas of Bangkok, they have pedestrian overhead walkways to help you cross the street.
This overhead walkway by Siam goes for several city blocks.
But in other places, it can be very chaotic.
That is stressful. These streets are so tight, so narrow, and there's cars going both directions and pedestrians all over the place and people just walking along staring at their phones. Just over a second ago, we were like on the big walkways and there was lots of room. It's just mind-boggling.
Let's switch tracks completely and talk about mail. Unlike many countries we've traveled to, Bangkok has a reliable postal service as well as private package delivery services. This is great if you're wanting to send postcards or if you're a slow traveler or a digital nomad that needs to send and receive packages.
I just got my first package delivered to me here in Thailand. We just got our first stickers printed here in Thailand. They are now focused more on our travels. Our old stickers were focused on our microcamper. Usually I wait till we get home to do these kinds of things, but I figured while we're traveling and we have an apartment, let's try doing it here. So I had to navigate some of the address type stuff and I figured it out and got our stickers.
Number 4 on our list of things to know before coming to Bangkok is all about the languages used here. English is much less widely spoken than I thought it would be. Sure, there's a lot of English when you're in the central areas, but once you get outside those touristy zones, Chris and I are doing a lot of pointing and gesturing to indicate what we want. Fortunately, everyone we've met has been really nice and helpful, even through the language barriers. But if you're here as a slow traveler or digital nomad, you might want to be social and meet up with other English speakers once in a while. If you're looking for a taste of home, Bangkok has lots of events for English-speaking people that live here. Just check out meetup.com for some ideas. Trivia nights are one of our favorites. But you may also need to keep in touch with people back home. So one thing to consider before planning your trip to Bangkok is number 5 on our list, and that's the time zone it's in. Bangkok is located in the Indochina time zone. That puts it 12 hours ahead of Toronto and New York, 13 hours ahead of Mexico City, and a full 15 hours ahead of Vancouver and Los Angeles. If you're trying to stay in touch with people in those time zones, that could mean really late nights, really early mornings, or both. Number 6 on our list of things to know before coming to Bangkok, and something I consider a big pro, is all about the safety in the city. Bangkok is a huge city, and sometimes we love to just get lost on purpose and wander the streets. And the really good thing about being here is that it's pretty much all safe. There's not a lot of neighborhoods that I've heard of anyways in Bangkok that you don't want to go to. As a woman, I felt very safe walking around by myself. Obviously, you still need to be careful and bad things can happen anywhere, but we felt safe here even walking late at night. Now let's talk about the public transit in Bangkok. Between the buses, metro, BTS, and canal boats, the public transit around Bangkok is excellent. The MRT is a metro system here, and the BTS is the above-ground rail line. Each have their own ticketing systems. You can just tap your credit card to get on the MRT, but to get on the BTS, you need to pay cash. Ride cost is based on the distance traveled, but it's usually about $1.50 per trip. And Google Maps does a good job giving directions using the MRT and BTS. The other major public transportation system here is the canal boats and river boats.
We've been walking and taking the metro and BTS all around Bangkok, but we haven't really gotten into the canal boats yet. So today we're figuring out how they work.
River boats take you up and down the Chao Phraya River and can be caught at the clearly marked piers. Make sure you only buy tickets from licensed booths, as there are a few scammers around trying to sell fake tickets. In addition to the river boats, there are also smaller canal boats that can take you down the Bangkok canals.
We just came in behind the Jim Thompson House Museum, and we are heading towards one of the piers along the canal.
When a canal boat arrives, you just hop on, then pay the onboard attendant based on the distance you're going. Keep your ticket, as sometimes you may need to change boats during your trip.
We just had to get out to change boats, and now we're just rushing over to catch the next one. We didn't realize this was going to be happening.
We've made it onto our second river boat. We found a couple of seats. It was really full, but Chris and I are kind of sitting together at the back of the boat. The canal boat has buttons just like when you're on a bus. So if you want to get off at the next pier, you push the button and that tells the driver that you're looking to get off at the next stop.
Number 9 on our list of things to know when planning a trip to Bangkok is that major tourist attractions like the reclining Buddha and Grand Palace can get really busy.
Coming here for 8 a.m. on a Monday morning was absolutely the right thing to do. There's not that many people here, but from what we've heard and from the queue signs we're seeing, it can get very busy here. And it's so nice and peaceful to be here when it's a little quieter, a little calmer. We're really able to take the time to enjoy this massive reclining Buddha.
Black cat and a ladder. All we need is a mirror here.
Whether you're only here for a few days or you're spending more time here as a slow traveler, we highly recommend visiting the Grand Palace.
I can't get over how incredible this is. The Grand Palace is absolutely not to be missed. We've only just got in, really, and already it's worth the price of admission. Definitely, when you're in Bangkok, do not miss this.
Make sure you dress appropriately.
The dress code here is extremely strict, so don't try and get away with anything. Wear what you're supposed to wear because they have several guards checking as you come in. Fortunately, Chris has his pant leg extensions for his shorts, and that got him through. I'm tingling. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. The amount of work that must have gone into this is incredible. Each one of these hand-placed, and before they were placed, somebody had to cut them to the right size.
You do have to put on some extra clothing in the heat, but it's worth it. When you're leaving the Grand Palace area, the readily available tuk-tuks might be your most expensive transportation option.
We're just in the Grand Palace area, and we were trying to get a tuk-tuk to take us back to our hotel, and the first guy told us 400 baht. We checked on Grab and it was somewhere in the 200 baht range, so we knew that that was way too much. So then we went to the next guy. He told us 500 baht. Too much. We just walked away from him. Next guy told us 300 baht. The 300 baht guy, though, we said no, maybe 100. And he said, okay, 100 baht. And he let us get into his tuk-tuk, but then he goes, okay, but we just have to make one stop along the way. And this is something you got to watch out for here. What they want to do is they want to take you somewhere where they want you to spend more money. He called it his sponsor. So yeah, just watch out for that. So instead of taking the tuk-tuk, we've just walked over to the metro station, which is actually quite close. And it is just a few stops to our hotel.
And number 10 on our list of things to know about Bangkok is that, like many Asian cities, the markets here are huge. You can buy anything you want, from flowers to fabrics to clothing to food and everything in between.
Look at all these toys, and you don't even have to play a game to get them.
And Bangkok is also home to one of the largest markets around.
We're checking out the Chatuchak Weekend Market in Bangkok, which is one of the biggest markets in Bangkok or Thailand or Southeast Asia. I'm not exactly sure which, but it's really big. The market has over a dozen different sections, from clothing and accessories to art to food. There's so much to check out.
The market is very well organized, and there are numbers for each section and for each stall, and there's a map, and you can figure out where you want to go.
The market might seem really busy when you first get off the BTS and you go through the main entryway and you just feel very crowded. But the market is so big that the crowd kind of just disperses and then it's not too busy afterwards. There's lots of touristy trinkets to buy here, but there's also some really nice high quality stuff. So many beautiful fabrics. Do you think I can pull these off? Across the street from the JJ Market is the Farmers Market. Now you could try and cross a really busy street to get there, or you can go underground via the metro, but instead of paying for the metro, just follow the signs for the Metro Mall, go through there, and then when you come up on the other side, you'll be in the Farmers Market. So we avoided crossing this busy street by taking the underground metro tunnel, and here we are at the Ortoir Market.
We love this market, so if you're checking out the JJ Market, be sure to take the underground path to check out the Ortoir Core Farmers Market and food stalls too.
Those are some pros and cons and things to know before traveling to Bangkok, Thailand. If you want to know more about the cost of living here, check out this video. We hope you're doing well, and we will see you in the next one.